Welcome back, YouTube. Welcome to Increased Lifestyle. Today I got something very special for y'all. Right now I got a guest with me. Introduce yourself.
Fred the True Pitts.
Yes, sir. So today I'm going to be presenting the first episode of the Increased Podcast. Just a show where we get on here, talk about the experiences that we had, different things that we've encountered in our life, and the methods that we use to cope, get past those situations, and ultimately serve a purpose of helping others out there as well who may be experiencing the same thing. So if you have some experiences and things that you want to talk about below, you can drop some feedback in the comment section. So without further ado, let's get started. So initially, I just recently posted a video about your heart surgery that happened 4 years ago. And you previously explained to me how that was one of the toughest situations of your life. But what do you think would be like one of the lowest situations in your life?
That was tough, and it was like a near-death experience. But the toughest would have been my heart surgery, which was my back surgery, which was like 8 years ago. And what made that the toughest was I was going through a lot before I had the surgery, legs going numb, falling, tripping. But then after the surgery, I was left disabled. And I never faced that situation where I couldn't go to work for my family. So I had to file for disability. Now I've been on disability ever since, and that was probably the lowest situation.
So just being able to, or not being able to, do the things that you once did was probably...
Yeah, that's the number one. And I can do a lot of the things I did, but now a lot of things I've did, it takes me a lot longer. So the average person might get up and go out and do this, and it takes them 10 minutes. It's going to probably take me 30 minutes.
And being a kid, I was so young and I couldn't understand fully what you was going through. And you can never understand something fully unless you've been in the shoes of that person. But I have a better understanding now that I'm older, but just seeing you go through the things, and I probably didn't think of it twice just because I was young. But as we know, sometimes things happen to us physically, but they can have a mental and a psychological effect towards them too. So that's one thing I always wondered, and I've only seen you cry a handful of times, man. But what, toll do you think that took on you mentally as far as the mind? Because the mind is what controls everything.
And that's tough. And I like to say it didn't take much of a toll on me, but it possibly did. My main thing affecting me was not being able to do what I used to be able to do with my family. As far as go out and run. Of course, that's when you was in the stages of your sports. I couldn't run and do the drills with you, show you how to do the drills. Couldn't take my wife out and go out and do a lot of different dances we used to do. I can dance, but not like I used to. A lot of things went through my head, like as far as protecting my family, and a lot of people don't think of this stuff, but I do. If somebody was to run up, me being able to deal with them the same way I was able to. It was a lot. And at the beginning, it was a lot rougher than it is now because I couldn't really walk at all. I was in a wheelchair. So that was even tougher. But one thing that helped me get through it, I think mentally, well, not one thing, more than one thing, was, of course, God and my family. My family around me always supported me. And with the belief in God, I always felt tomorrow is going to be better. And I still feel that way today. Even though I'm not nowhere near where I want to be, I'm always like, I'm going to get better. And that does not leave my mind. And it's going to be that way probably until the day I die.
That's powerful, man. That's what's up. So have you ever questioned that belief or the sense of, because people go through things every single day, and sometimes that thought of questioning, whether it's questioning God, why have I been in this situation? And I don't think that's such a bad thing, because at the end of the day, we're humans and we're still accumulating knowledge as we go through life. If we had everything figured out, then we ourselves would be a God.
Right.
If we knew everything about life, we're supposed to be in this situation, this is going to be figured out, it's going to be good on the end. In the end, if we knew all of those answers to those questions, us ourselves would be God.
And when needed.
So sometimes I think we do encounter a situation where we get confused, and that confusion can overwhelm us, and cause us to question. Did you ever have an experience where like that kind of question, like not necessarily just questioning God, period, but just questioning how you were gonna make it out of that situation?
Yeah, it wasn't really questioning God. It was questioning the situation. Like, I spent a lot of time by myself. When y'all were at school, your mom was at work, and I'm at home doing my own like self-therapy, trying to walk, doing different exercises, and it was like my body's not doing what I wanted to do. You know, you're thinking in your mind, you're saying, legs, you should do this. And they're not doing it. And it will get frustrating. I'll be like, why don't y'all just do what I want y'all to do? No matter how many exercises I did or this and that. Went to therapy. It was like, especially when you don't have the people around you, it's just like you got your own mind to work with. So yeah, it was some tough times, but it's just like, for some reason I prayed and I just pushed through it like, it's gonna get better, it's gonna get better. And it did.
That's what's up. I say for me, I've had a lot of low points, as we all have. When things happen to different family members, I think that can bring us to a low point. But me specifically, me personally, I'd say the lowest point was probably me getting injured and 2 years ago and dislocating my elbow and having a season-ending injury. After that happened, it was like the Fred that everybody once knew was kind of gone. Just that simple fact of me coming around and making everybody smile, having them jokes, it just wasn't there. I wanted to be alone. I wanted to be by myself. I didn't leave the room unless I had to eat or go to practice. I hated watching practice. And me looking back on it, like, that's not a way to be. That's nowhere. I never want to be in that position before, but I envy guys who got to go out and had the chance to play football, and I had to sit on that sideline. That was just one of the most hurtful things to me. There's been plenty of times that I would sit on the sideline or practice for a game and actually break down in tears watching other people enjoy the things that they wanted to do and that they love to do. And that was probably one of the hardest parts for me, is going through that. And I did a lot of questioning. And me being young and only being 22 years old, right, I know there's a lot of stuff that I still got to figure out. But I questioned not necessarily if God's presence was there, but why me? I feel like a lot of things happen for a reason in our lives. I don't think things can just happen. Like, right, it can go as basic as, why did the water bottle fall off the table? There has to be a reason. Oh, somebody pushed it and gravity brought it down. Oh, the table leaned. Like, to me, the simplest things all the way up to the most complex things that happen in our life has a reason to it. So I spent a lot of time, months of confusion of, why is this happening to me? I felt as if I had done everything in being a good Christian or helping other people out and to the best of my ability, but why do good things happen to bad people? And that confusion wrapped around my mind for months. And my mom sent me a song. I forgot what the song was, but it was a gospel song. And that's when led me to believe that I was living a positive life, but I wasn't living in the right way of being a servant, which led me to creating Increase and trying to help other people out there. So that was my main goal, of just trying to find out, what is he trying to tell me? What is he trying to tell me? Because it was nights where I couldn't sleep laying down, so I'm sleeping in the chair. I couldn't take the medicine, because if I take the medicine, I get drowsy and I go to class and I fall asleep in class. But if I don't take the medicine, I'm in some crazy pain. So it's like you stuck between that medium of, do I take the medicine and be drowsy, or do I not? And that was that equal to one of the lowest semesters, of my grades dropped tremendously. That messed up my GPA. I fixed it this semester, but that messed me up bad. But I'd say just trying to find out what God was telling me was probably the biggest thing that helped me out of that situation.
And I can understand that part where you're coming from, because at the beginning it was rough for me too to be around people, especially being in that wheelchair. So I can understand where you're coming from, especially you're younger and a lot more active than I was at that time. And it ain't nothing like sitting in a wheelchair looking up to everybody that you're talking to. To me, that was just a killer moment. So I can understand. I know you wasn't in a wheelchair in that situation, but it kind of took you away from doing what you love to do. And you were always outgoing. You were a leader. So I feel like you're running people. You can still lead, but it's harder to. You can't lead the way you want to lead.
Do you think that, or do you believe that God can also, sit people down and humble them just for a greater purpose? Like, I'm going to detour your life for right now because I know that there's something greater for you, essentially.
I don't think that he actually makes the detour. I think he allows the detour to happen, because detours is going to happen in everybody's life, but he allow it to happen, like you said, for greater to come out of it. And I think, like you said, I was always a good person, but I never was that guy to say why me, because I think, no, why not me? Because stuff happened to a lot of people. There's a lot of people worse than me out there. People lost their legs. People can't walk at all. People lose vision, sight and vision, same thing. Hearing, there's a lot of things that can happen to you. So I feel that I'm blessed because I'm still here. I'm still able to walk on my 2 feet. Still able to see my kids, my grandkids. I'm still able to play. So I don't think he's just doing a detour for the purpose of making you better. I think he allowed the detour to happen to people he know can handle the detours, because they're going to happen. That's what I believe.
So in the video that I posted about you, I was talking about how I feel as if God places people in positions that he knows they can handle. Like, right. He knows, and we know deep down inside, even though we might not seem like it and we may not feel like it at first.
Right.
But whatever situation we do encounter, we're more than capable of surpassing it. It's just a matter of if we do or not.
Right. And not only he knows people that can handle it, he puts people in place that will help you handle it, carry over. Like, he gave me a great wife. He gave me great kids. He gave me great cousins. He gave me great aunts. He gave me a great, wonderful mother. He gave me a good father. He gave me all the pieces to help me, because in the end, like we seen Pastor Wesley said, nobody can do it on their own. And family and God and everybody is like a puzzle to help you move on. That's what I feel. And that's why I'm here now, about the barbecue.
But I thank you for sitting down with me. This has been a very fruitful talk, and I hope we can have more, just like these, just sitting down and talking about different subjects that we've experienced, and ultimately helping people find a way to cope or find some type of answer that they may be looking for, or just open up a discussion that people want to talk about, things that people don't feel comfortable talking about with themselves or with other people around them. Opening up and being vulnerable. I think that's what I thank you for most importantly, is just being vulnerable, because that's so hard to do.
Yes, it is.
Especially on the internet. So I really appreciate you doing that for me. And so yeah, this has been another episode. This has been the first episode. We're going to have a few more coming shortly. So hopefully this series picks up and we can keep going. And if you have anything that you want us to talk about, different experiences that we had, or if you want us to talk about something that you had, just drop it down in the description below or comment section below. And so yeah, like, subscribe, and we'll be back with another video. Thank you.
Peace.